Hi, welcome back to Golden Image Music. I'm Todd.
And I'm Tina.
And today I invited my wife to come in and go through the vinyl tags list with me. Normally in the vinyl community, every year, usually yearly, one of the more popular YouTube channels for the vinyl community will put out a list of questions for other members in the vinyl community to answer. This year, a little different. Looks like we're doing it seasonal. Dillon from Noble Records in Matthews, North Carolina, and has a great YouTube channel, has put out a list of 20 summer vinyl tags.
Yes. And I'm going to ask you the questions, Todd.
Great. So let's do this.
Let's do it.
20 questions, start.
Okay, number 1, an album or song with summer in the name.
Okay, I have a couple of those. And when you think of summer, you think of Summer Breeze. Seals and Crofts' Summer Breeze. Excellent album. This has some great songs like Hummingbird. And of course, Summer Breeze is on there. So really good Sunday morning listening, certainly on a hot summer day.
Yes.
And we listened to it this morning, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah. Also, kind of a runner-up or an honorable mention was Summertime Dream with Gordon Lightfoot. 1976 release. This was the album that I think for most of you know, the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald had debuted on. So a great album. We love Gordon Lightfoot. A little soft rock in the morning.
I like it.
And you like the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. So Gordon Lightfoot. What else do we got?
Number 2, latest Heavy Pull, a recent album you just had to open your wallet wide for.
Did I open my wallet wide lately?
Oh, well, you know.
No, not that you know of anyway.
No.
Yeah, so there is one. It's a weird band. People always laugh, but it's a band from Madison, Wisconsin called Last Crack. And this is actually a promo copy of that album. Last Crack was big in Europe, but they say, they hail out of Madison, Wisconsin. This is their debut album. I'm trying to collect all of their albums. This was one of those bands that kind of, over the years, there was a naked guy on there. I didn't buy it because of that. This is one of those albums or bands that got stuck between hair metal and the grunge era. And I wouldn't say it was either or. It's very unique music. It's excellent. And I've been reaching out to the members of the band to see if I can get them an interview here on the YouTube channel.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yes.
What else you got?
Oh, number 3, Whack-A-Mole album.
Oh, okay. That means you got to pull one for me.
Yes.
But you can't look.
Okay.
All right. They're all over the house.
Out of reach.
Oh, you're just going to go here.
I'm not looking.
You're not allowed to look.
I know, but I gotta. Oh, find the right one. Here's something. Here we go.
Oh, all right. I just bought this. So this is Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company. This is kind of a reissue album. Actually, I don't think this is the Big Brother and the Holding Company. This is with Janis's band. Anyway, it's got Try and the normal stuff that you hear from Janis. Cosmic Blues. I got them old Cosmic Blues Again, Mama, which I think is actually the name of the album. Pretty good album. I just bought this not too long ago. I don't think I paid 12. I think I paid 10 with a bunch of other albums. Huge Janis Joplin fan. I love Janis Joplin.
Yes, you do.
I've got a number of her albums, plus some of the stuff I did on Record Store Day. They came out with Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company. I actually got that album there at the Monterey Pop Festival.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think it was both Sundays. And an interesting story about that. Maybe we'll cover that in another video. But yeah, there's my Whack-A-Mole. Now you're going to have to put it back.
Okay, we're number 5, an album with a great story.
An album with a great story. I think I got that covered. So this album is interesting. Tina and I we used to live in Florida, and we would go to this big flea market about every month, right?
Yep.
And there was a big record store in there. There was a guy in there. He always wore all these, he had a lot of tattoos and like leather bands, and he was kind of a trippy dude. But he had a lot of records. And every time when I would go, I'd ask him, well, how many Rush records? You got any Rush records? And he'd say, yeah, I do. And he'd pull out and hook me up with a good deal on some Rush records. But every single time he would always say, hey, look, if you're into Rush records, be on the lookout for an album called Russian Roulette. And I'm like, okay. He goes, yeah, man, it's cool. It's very rare. You got to find it. I'm like, okay. So I was intrigued. I went home, looked it up. I said, yeah, this is cool. But then months went on, and we would keep going by, and every single time, I'd buy some Rush records or whatever else I'd find there, he would say, so don't forget, keep an eye out for that Russian Roulette. So one day I was on eBay, and I was looking around, and it just so happened to pop up Russian Roulette. This is an extremely interesting album. I have a couple others that are like this, but these are very, very hard to find. I believe there was probably less than 1,000 of these pressed. These actually are albums that are concentric grooves. So basically, wherever you put your needle on, a different song will come on the record. So there's no actual tracks. All the tracks are built in. Because I got a Monty Python album that's very much the same. But this is extremely rare. It's in mint condition, and I'll have to say it's cool. But here's the cool part of it. I took this album back probably 6-8 months later, and same routine. He asks me, I ask him where the Rush records are. Did he get any new in? What's new? And at the very end, just like I knew he would, he says, hey, make sure you keep an eye out for that Russian Roulette record. And I go, this one? And his eyes lit right up, and he said, yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? And I said, yeah, it sure is. So, yeah, this is also a prized record in my collection, as I'm a Rush collector, as well as a huge Jimi Hendrix collector.
That's a rare one.
It is a rare one.
We got number 6, an album you'd be surprised to see in your collection.
Oh, yes. Well, here's one. Soundtrack for Hair. Yeah, I don't think that most people would think that I would actually listen to Hair, some of the 60s hippie stuff, but actually I do kind of like the psych rock stuff from the 60s, and there's some Jefferson Airplane and stuff, but this is actually not a bad album, and this is not the Broadway one. This is actually from the movie Hair, the 1979 movie, which is actually another one of my faves. I don't watch it, but it maybe every couple years, but it's a good movie, and it's got a good story. So if you ever get a chance to check it out, and you think, hey, Todd's weird, well, and you probably think that already, check the movie out, and check out the soundtrack. It's not too bad. It's pretty good.
Okay, number 7, Cheap Heat. Possibly dollar bin record.
Cheap Heat, yes. Stuff you can find in the dollar bin that really kind of are really good. I brought this on my Instagram before. One of my favorite records as a kid, my mom and me, I got some great memories attached to it. The Best of Bread, right? Cheap Heat. I actually have a quadraphonic disc of Best of Bread. You can buy this pretty cheap. Actually, it's getting a little harder to find because people are catching on. David Gates was the lead singer for the band, but the band has some really, really good songs. Make It With You and Baby I Want You and all these good songs. Like the first side is kind of like the super soft rock side, and then the second side is a little more rockin'. But every song on this album, since it is the best of, is exceptional. And when I listen to this, it just makes me feel good. So this is my Cheap Heat.
All right, number 8, 45 or alternate format.
Yeah, so I have a couple of 45s. Here's a 45 on Colpix Records from Paul Peterson. Paul Peterson was a child actor. He was on, I believe it was Father Knows Best, or I think it was it was the Donna Reed Show. Oh. And the reason that I know that is because I worked with Paul Peterson on a TV show. I was an announcer back in the mid-90s. Thought this was the career path that I wanted to follow. So I actually went to Hollywood. We made 3 pilot shows. Didn't go anywhere, but it was a lot of fun. And it was fun meeting all of these, I wouldn't say has-been stars. A lot of them were child actors. But there were a lot of, big stars there too. Lauren Chapin, who was, she was in Father Knows Best, Miss Kitten. Right. And she was also the first Musketeer on the Musketeer Club. Uh-huh. So I got to meet him. Fantastic people. Paul Peterson's a really super nice guy. And this song, My Dad, I play it every year at Father's Day. It's a really nice song. Check it out on YouTube.
That is cool.
I got another one too. Tubular Bells, Mike Oldfield. I mean, you know, I guess this was originally the theme from The Exorcist, as most of you probably know. But Tubular Bells is a really good. I don't know how you could fit it on a 45. It's an entire side 1 and 2 of an LP, right?
Yeah, it's cool music, though.
Yeah, it is cool music, and both of us enjoy Tubular Bells. Not all the time, because it can get a little weird. You know, the nasal chorus. You'll know what I'm talking about if you check it out. But this is another 45 that I have in my collection. Plus, I have some 8 tracks. Actually, I have the a really odd one. I have the entire Beatles White Album on 8-track, and it's sealed.
Wow.
It's upstairs somewhere.
That is cool.
Check it out. Yeah.
Okay, number 9, favorite music documentary or biopic?
Oh, I think this is both our favorite.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Iron Maiden, Flight 666.
It's really good.
It is very good. The concert film is in here, as well as the documentary. And the documentary was done by I got to remember who he is. He did Rush as well. It's exceptional. This guy here did this whole entire thing, the whole entire tour, all over the world. They redid the Power Slave tour, which was done back in the 80s, but they completely redid it. And here's the kicker: Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer, actually flies the airplane. And it was Flight 666, and they flew all their gear and the band and the crew all the way around the earth, from England all the way around through several countries, and then back, you know, to LA, and then ending up in Canada. I got to tell you, this is a film to watch.
Definitely.
And it's just fascinating to see a band that's, you know, heavy metal, but really does some cool stuff. So great documentary. Should own it.
Definitely. Okay, number 10, a box set.
A box set. Okay. Let's see what I got here. I got a couple of them, but I'm just going to show one. This is the Electric Ladyland box set.
Oh, nice.
This is a beauty. I cherish this one, and as I'd mentioned, I'm a huge Jimi Hendrix collector. Yeah, she loves it. Yeah, she's got the Jimmy shirt on today. And you know, as Tina knows, I have I don't even know, probably 300-400 Jimi Hendrix records, and from all over the world, different bootlegs, and lots of different really cool cuts of Jimmy. I like, you know, some of the regular stuff, and I like a lot of the other, you know, some of the bootlegs and the, you know, strange records that they put out. It's also got, and I've watched this on YouTube. It's available on YouTube, so I didn't open it up. But this is the documentary of the making with Eddie Kramer, who was the engineer and producer for Jimi Hendrix. But this is a really cool one because it's got outtakes. There's an excellent book in here with some great pictures, and all of Jimmy's handwritten notes for the lyrics to each one of the songs.
Awesome.
You know, a landmark album. This is a fun box set to just sit down and listen one day, pull it all apart, and then read through it. Highly recommended. And I know Tina enjoys it too. Definitely. We love Electric Ladyland, especially which song? What's our favorite song?
Probably Love?
No, on Electric Ladyland.
Oh.
Yeah.
Angel?
A Mermaid I shall be.
Okay, well, now number 11, most trashed record in your collection.
The most trashed record in my collection. Well, that's an easy one. Another Jimi Hendrix, but this one's a unique Jimi Hendrix. It is a Mexican bootleg on Nuna Records.
Mexican bootleg. Okay.
Yes, and it is quite trashed. I don't even know. I would never play it.
Looked like it was buried in the sand.
Yeah, it looks like
in Mexico somewhere.
Yeah, or maybe in the desert, or you know, maybe it crossed the border. I have no idea. But anyway, this is the Mexican bootleg of Jimi Hendrix. It's also interesting because it's got, lucky I've never heard it, just because I don't think I could play that. Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, John Mayall, and Jack Bruce are also on this as well. So I don't know if it's a compilation album or what. Maybe I will break out the cheap.
My little portable.
Yeah, the little portable one. Maybe we'll give it a try and see what it sounds like. But yeah, it's pretty trashed.
Should, yeah. Okay, number 12, a local album.
A local album. I have a couple. This one here is an interesting album from 1999. It's on one side it's one band, and on one side it's another. It's out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Secret Life of Machines on one side, and then Crash, Smash, Explode. And this is one of those albums that you listen to as you're preparing to go to hell. Because it's, I don't know, it's like some kind of heavy prog death metal.
Yeah.
But it's very extreme. I don't listen to this on a normal basis, if at all. But it is in my collection, and I think it's kind of cool. I've looked it up. The bands don't even exist anymore. The other one's interesting. It's a sealed copy of a band called Fingerprints. And the album's called Then and Now. And this is out of, was recorded in Goldsboro, North Carolina. But the band is out of Sanford, North Carolina. And looks like a pretty good record, actually. Again, I'm not going to open it because I think there may be some people locally that may want to get their hands on this. But really cool. Fingerprints. Looks like they've got some rhythm guitar, bass, piano, a mandolin, and then some of the songs looks like they wrote most of them, except Okie from Muskogee,
right.
Blue Suede Shoes, and the Midnight Special. It's like there's some cover songs on there, but for the most part, it looks like they mixed in some stuff that they wrote. 1977 on Fingerprints Band Records, FBI. Cool. There you go.
Okay, number 13, an album from a faraway land.
All right, so I was going to show you, I have a South Korean copy of Caress of Steel by Rush, but it is stowed away somewhere in the lots of records that I have.
In the record vault.
In the record vault. Yeah, I have about 5,000 records. But I did find this one from France, and as Tina mentioned, since...
it's the Summer Olympics.
Summer Olympics. We do a French one. This is an interesting two discs from France. It's Scorpions Fly from Fly to the Rainbow, and then on the other side, In Trance. So it's a 2-album set, In Trance and Fly to the Rainbow, both excellent Scorpion records, and both included in this set. So it's about as far as away as I get, Europe at this point.
That's a neat one, though.
Yeah.
Okay, number 14, a soundtrack.
A soundtrack. Here we go. Heavy metal. Can't go wrong with the heavy metal soundtrack. You've got, a lot. Don Felder's on here. Sammy Hagar playing the song Heavy Metal. As most of you know, this is a, 80s movie, animated movie. Done pretty well. But I really like the soundtrack a lot. You can find this fairly inexpensively. It's a 2-record set. The sound quality is phenomenal, and I highly recommend it. Heavy metal. It's like a good compilation / soundtrack album. Pick it up if you see it in the store or in the show.
Okay, number 15, your highest recommendation.
Well, I mean, I could make a lot of recommendations, kind of based on the genres, because I listen to a lot of different things. We both do, don't we?
Yes.
We listen to jazz. We listen to country. We listen to, of course, rock. I've been kind of, as I get older, getting away from like the hair metal stuff, which I was big into when I was a kid.
Right.
But I really like, classic rock and blues. But one of my favorite records and a recommendation to you is a Jethro Tull record, going to the classic rock, Broadsword and the Beast. Now, this is an OG copy. I also have another copy, and this is where the recommendation comes in. I highly recommend buying this record as the Steven Wilson remix.
Oh, yeah.
It is great. It's got some great liner notes in there. It's over there, and I'm not going to get it. But this album was recorded in, I believe it's 1983. And it's just great all the way through. Songs like Beastie, Broadsword and the Beast, of course, or Broadsword, and Slow Marching Band. Really good song, really good, again, Sunday morning listen, or any time of the day, to kind of bring your spirits up and listening to some of that really great Jethro Tull tunes. And the Steven Wilson remix. You can get it on Amazon.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Okay, number 16, highest on your want list.
Yeah, okay. So there is a band out of Madison, Wisconsin. Oh, I showed it to you. It was my big poll. I think I paid like $40 for that on Discogs. It was in mint condition. That was that last crack with the naked guy on it. I know you guys are going to make fun of me for the Last Crack thing. I get it. Everybody always did, but I've been listening to them since like 91.
Yeah, they're solid.
Yeah, they are solid, and a great sound, excellent band, very unique. Their latest record was released in 2022, after a long hiatus away. It's called The Uprising, and it's nearly impossible to find. The EMP record label went out of business. They didn't sell, but very few of them,
Right.
and I believe they probably destroyed most of them.
Oh, that's a shame.
Again, I'm going to be in touch with Last Crack to see if I can get a copy of the album. There are none on eBay. There are none on Discogs or other platforms. I have not been able to find this record. Look, if you find it and it's in great condition, get with me. I might be able to, make a deal or a trade.
Yes. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, number 17, a channel shout out.
All right. There's two channels. One is Vinyl Latte, and he's just down the road in Clayton, North Carolina. Really great channel. He's kind of a car guy. I've met him a couple of times. Really cool guy to his wonderful audiophile system and all of the high-end gear.
Right.
And he's also got an excellent record collection. Plus, his YouTube channel is a lot of fun. He goes through, he really gets into the vinyl and the sound of vinyl and the audiophile stuff. And we're going to do some collaborations coming up, probably Record Store Day in Wilson when we go to Phil's Records in Wilson this year for Record Store Day. So me, Larry, and Louie from the Vinyl Latte are going to get together and do a live stream from there. I don't know how many people will watch, but I got to tell you, and a shout out to Phil's Records. Phil's Music in Wilson, North Carolina. Cool guy, and a lot of fun to hang out with as well.
Cool.
And then the other shout out is to Robert Fithen. Robert Fithen's been on YouTube now for about 3.5 years. Started it just before COVID. Really, really kicked it in during COVID. That channel is phenomenal. He keeps it simple. And I know in our videos I get a little fancy with the editing, and I'm kind of like that. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I do like things a certain way. Look, Robert Fithen's videos are excellent. He'd go back and watch and subscribe to his channel because he goes through and does some wild things, dresses up, and some of the things, the skits that he does are hilarious. So a great member of the vinyl community. I like being a member of the vinyl community, even though our channel is more music oriented, not necessarily just vinyl,
Right.
but we'll throw a couple of vinyl videos in now and again. Since I have so many records, we might as well show them off and share our thoughts with you.
Yes, indeed. Okay, 18, a silver lining in vinyl.
A silver lining in vinyl. So what this means basically is, instead of all of the negativity that goes around, vinyl is expensive and it's hard to come by, and it's always warped, or there's QA problems or whatever. I will say that the silver lining really for me in vinyl is, and I've been collecting for a long time, since the 90s, and of course I listened to vinyl my whole life through the 70s and 80s as a kid. There was nothing else. There was cassette tapes.
Yeah. Your first vinyl was Hendrix?
My very first vinyl was, I bought it at the St. Vincent de Paul for 25 cents. It was Are You Experienced? That was my own. My mom had a whole collection, which I enjoyed too. She liked the Spinners and, like a Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, which I loved as well. But my very first one, and when I put that Are You Experienced on the turntable?
You're like, what?
Yeah, changed my whole life. It really did. Yeah, it was amazing. So I know most of you probably have heard Are You Experienced, but I got to tell you, it is it's something that changed my whole life. And from there on, I was in. I was all in.
You're the one that turned me on to Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, that's right. And when Tina and I met, she listened to a lot of, more like pop rock and country, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I started turning on to Neil Young and Jethro Tull and, of course, Jimi Hendrix. And now we both listen to really cool stuff that we dig up. A lot of jazz.
Yeah.
We both enjoy together. Dead Can Dance is some stuff that we really enjoy together. So it's fun listening to records. And we get, it's a lot of times where we can just sit and talk and listen to the tunes and talk through, some of the things that go on day to day in a marriage.
Right.
So
Definitely. Okay, number 19, A Steal of a Deal.
yeah.
That's a good story.
Yeah, I got a steal of a deal here for you. So I picked up this Monterey Pop Festival, Otis Redding, and the Jimi Hendrix Experience. It was in a $5 bin. It was at a another flea market in Tampa, Florida. I was just going through the bin, and as usual, looking for Jimi Hendrix records or Rush or whatever I was building my collection with at the time. And this is a very rare record. And you're probably saying, Todd, no, that's not a rare record. I have it. And look at how beat up it is. It's it's not pretty. It's got ring wear. It's got some water damage on the back. It was worth every bit of $5. Plus, I had the record, the vinyl was in perfect condition. But here's where this gets a little bit different.
Your very technical eye.
A very technical eye happened to catch on the very bottom here, signed in blue ballpoint pen. This is actually signed by Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is one of my prized records. I've had this checked out, and it is, in fact, truly signed by Jimi Hendrix. This is Jimi's actual signature. So another one of my prized collections. And for $5, how could you go wrong? That's a steal of a deal.
Steal of a deal of the century. Awesome. Okay, 20, a promo.
A promo. Yeah, this is the last one, a promo copy. I just picked this up the other day, $5. This is Johnny Cash, Gone Girl, a white label promo. And it's essentially in quite mint condition, very minty. A good record. This is Johnny, in his a little later years. I believe this was 1978. This was released, and there's a couple of cover songs on here. We listened this morning to this. The Gambler's on there. That's Johnny's rendition. But Gone Girl and It Comes and Goes, two great songs on this album. But it's a promo I liked. I've got a lot of other promos, but I figured I would share this one since it was the latest one that I picked up. I think we missed one. Wasn't there one question in there, an album with animals on it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was.
Them all off. I don't know.
Maybe we missed it. Anyway, I do have an album with animals. I mean, there's a lot of albums with animals. So you think of Blackfoot, Tomcat, and Blackfoot Strikes, snake on it. But since Tina is a horse aficionado, as she was a jockey in her younger days, a professional jockey, I figured we'd do Jethro Tull Heavy Horses. Put two horses on there. This is not one of their greater albums, but it's not a bad album either. But it does have two horses on the, and I believe that qualifies as an animal on the cover.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you, Tina, for reading the questions off for me and going through with this. And of course, thank you very much for supporting all the years of me collecting vinyl. I'll promise I'll never buy another record.
Oh, yeah, right. I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, right. All right, everybody.
Hey.
Have a good one. And we'll see you again here on the Golden Image Music Channel. Lots more fun stuff coming your way. Take care.
Bye.